Hi, this is Jack Stanley, and I'm in the Grainary Cemetery here, Grainary Churchyard here in Boston. Lots of famous people are buried here, of course. Right over here, of course, is Sam Adams, who died in 1803. You know, the interesting thing about Sam Adams, as John Adams used to say in his notes, that he hopes that he didn't die like Sam Adams, like a tree from the top down. So I guess it was a slow and rather sad demise for Sam Adams. But of course, he did an awful lot for the American Revolution, of course. The Sons of Liberty, of course, all the things that took place during the American Revolution, Sam was involved. And in fact, there's a very famous line during the time of the Declaration of Independence, when everyone was battling, and they were talking about slavery. And Sam Adams said, if you don't take care of it now, 100 years hence, we're going to have to deal with it. And by golly, well, it was less than 100 years, but we did. Behind me here is Robert Treat Paine, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, and a very fierce fighter for liberty. There's an awful lot of people interred here in this churchyard, but all through this churchyard there's a certain issue. Let's go up this way. Let's take a little walk as we go. And in amongst the gravestones here, everything here is very old. This churchyard has not been used in many, many years. And of course, some very, very decorative art of the day. Now, the grave right up here, let me turn this way so you can see it. This big pyramid coming up here, that's the grave of Benjamin Franklin's parents. Benjamin Franklin was born, of course, in Boston, and didn't like the area. He had some issues with his brother, so he went to New York. That didn't work well, so he eventually went to Philadelphia. But this is where his parents lie. Quite interesting. Of course, buried here as well is John Hancock. We can kind of say buried here as well because, well, he really isn't. He was once. You see, John Hancock, when he died, he was buried here in a lead coffin and had a very unique marker. However, in the 1860s, that whole area was torn apart and the marker was taken apart. The coffin seemed to have left. And in fact, today there's a marker on top of what most probably is very little, if not nothing. But in the 19th century, after the loss of everything, they put up this marker to illustrate the burial place of John Hancock. As for where he is now, who knows? Kind of an interesting thing here. Another thing about this area, it was very wet. And in fact, it flooded. In fact, when people used to dig in here, they would find the coffins floating all over the place. So, sad to say, a good chance that not many people stayed here for long. But this is where they did end up. This is where it all ended. Of course, A couple of other people that are very, very important in our history. You know, Paul Revere is buried here. Paul Revere is famous for many, many things. He was obviously a silversmith. Did some great work on that. However, he also was very famous for his description and for his depiction, I should say, of the Boston Massacre. It was his print that agitated the colonists to an amazing degree, and his print had a profound effect on the Boston Massacre, as I have mentioned before. Right here is the grave of Paul Revere. Died in 1818, full of years, full of grandchildren. He had a lot of children, and he had a lot of grandchildren. So it's a really amazing place, amazing cemetery with a lot of history and a lot of mysteries. I guess one of the greatest is, where is John Hancock? What became of him? But nonetheless, we know this is where he ended up. And so perhaps within the grounds here is John Hancock. Perhaps not. But here rests in the ground, partially, if not flooded away, the remains of many who had a very intricate and important part in the history of the American Revolution.